interesting topic that everybody really talks about forgiveness. In a part of their life, there's always the topic about forgiveness. And it's interesting when you see everybody has their own thoughts, their own opinions of how forgiveness is. Specifically, I notice a lot that, and I have been there too, when you condition the forgiveness. I will forgive you. And don't do it again. So there's this silent expectation that I forgive you because you're going to change. You're not going to do this anymore. But what if that person do it again? Are you going to take away that forgiveness?
Yeah, they put expectations and if you really and if it's like that, then it's not really forgiven. Because when you forgive someone and you forgive, I mean, like I could say that I know, like I know I've been there, but what I mean, like what I mean by that is like is what I mean is that when I went through a little process where everything was forgiving people and remembering the people that did wrong to me and forgiving them still, like I went through a certain process where it was heavily where I had to do that for my own health, and it was really tough. And at the beginning it was like, I'll forgive them, but if this happens again, it's over. I'm not forgiving you. And that's how I was at the beginning. And by time I've learned to really forgive, and there will be moments where you forgive the person. Now, it doesn't mean that you're going to have the same relationship or the same interaction with these people, but you can forgive and put limits. So if somebody did me wrong a certain way, I have to learn to forgive them for what they did or for what they may cause in a certain future or whatever. But I have to put limits and boundaries within our relationship, because if I don't do that, then nothing really changes. And,
especially if it's someone close to you.
And I have to honor myself. I have to honor them as well. And I have to honor other people. But to just say this, for me, and it was something that I saw a video on, I think it was yesterday or Friday. And it was this man that he did a video of him like, I used to hate myself, because I've lost 100 and something pounds, but all I've always seen is the weight. And that video spoke to me like so much in so many different ways, because the first person he hated
was himself.
And that was the first person he needed to forgive. Because if anybody tells him whatever it is negative during that process that he's in, that he's already telling himself, he's going to believe it, not because others are telling him. He's going to believe it because he's telling that to himself, meaning there's such hatred to himself that it's like you're not loving yourself. Therefore, you're not going to be able to forgive yourself. So when you're in that process of forgiving, you need to forgive yourself first.
But what is so difficult? It's so difficult to forgive. It is the reality. It is so real.
I think it's easy to say that you forgive someone, but then, okay, like for example, like I could be like, oh yeah, I forgive you. And then like a week goes by and I'm like, oh, I still remember that time. Like it's easy to say I forgive you, but you carry that like, no, if she does that to me again, like, oh, or like,
but I also think that depends on the person as well.
But it also like the pain, like it's like we were talking about idolatry the other day, and when we were reviewing the topic on forgiveness, I was thinking like how it relates. Like sometimes we want to hold so tight what someone did wrong to us that it become an idol, and we cannot express the joy that we should be expressing or feeling because of lack of forgiveness. So in a way, it becomes an idol as well. But like you say, it's so hard. Why so hard? What do you think is so hard?
Because you have to like let go of a situation that really bothers you. Because it's like you have to be like forgiveness is something for me personal. Like if I tell you, oh, I forgive you, like that to you is like
nothing,
but like to me it's like, okay, like I'm finally like whatever happens, like like that's between her and God, and like this is me and God, like this is my personal growth. And a lot of people are like, no, like I don't want to let it go. Like you owe
They don't
me.
want
Like,
to
they want
exactly.
revenge.
It's like they
wanna let
don't.
go.
You owe me. And that's exactly
Yeah.
what it is. It's like this silent retribution. You owe me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I actually have a friend who literally like said exactly those words that he literally just said. Like he was like, nah, I'm not gonna forgive them. I wanna hate them. I wanna feel the way I feel about them. And that actually is a sign of weakness. Why? Because okay. Okay. That's a sign of weakness because it shows that you're not able to move forward. Like
Mm-hmm.
a strong
You're
person
stuck.
You're stuck, and a strong person moves forward. A strong person grows. A strong person keeps moving, keeps going. Now, you want to hate, you want to do this, you want to do that, because you feel comfortable in it. And if you're comfortable in it, it's easier.
Mm-hmm.
And when it's easier, I don't want to say you're weak, but reality is that you are being weak because you prefer to stay somewhere comfortable. You want to be stubborn and stay somewhere comfortable because that allows you to feel however you want to feel, yada yada yada, and then they go on that and they don't grow. But I know that these are the type of people that expect you to forgive them for whatever it is that you do, and it's like we're gonna like, yeah, there's forgiveness for everyone, but you cannot expect people to react a certain way that you're not even reacting towards them, and it's like it's so hypocritical.
It is. And I noticed something, and this is like I have seen it in my life, in my life. I have seen the life of others. I don't know if there's any study done in this, but I noticed this. When you lack of forgiving something, a lot of times you end up doing the same thing. That someone it's like a sick cycle that you cannot break. And I remember for many years, and I have testified about that many times, I was so resentful against my mom because she didn't show me love when we were growing up and all of that. She was always with a bad attitude, saying certain things, and she is a wonderful mother, okay? She really is a wonderful mother, but I always resent that. Like, why is she so hateful? Why she hate my father so much? Why she's all of this and all of that? And then one day I had to walk exactly in the same shoes she was walking in that moment in her life at the same age, because I think she was in her 30s when she was like that. And I was like, oh my God, now I understand. All these years I've been so resentful towards her, and I didn't never consider that I was carrying lack of forgiveness for a person, and I never show her mercy. And now I understand why she behaved the way she behaved. So I had to make a decision for myself. I'm going to repeat the story, or I'm going to let go. And truthfully, for myself, forgive me for being so resentful for so many years, and also forgive others for what I think they owe me. They didn't owe me nothing. If you think about it, no one really owned you anything. The fact that she chose to have me, I own her that she decided to give birth of me. So she didn't owe me anything. In other words, I will have to, it is the opposite, because she could have choose not to have me. So when I think about those things now, I say, why? Wow, I waste so many years of my life being resentful, being so bitter. And the thing is, you try to hide it, but you can tell when someone is being bitter. You can see it in their face. They can smile. I remember I used to smile. I see pictures right now, and I'm like, oh my God, I look so angry. And I was laughing with a bigger smile, but you just can. It's just you held in yourself up. You can't. You're stuck in that cycle. But it's so interesting.
I felt like that. I think I felt like that before. As it is my with my situation, it is a little different, and it's because the same way that I was explaining earlier. My case was I was hateful, and I used to. I'm gonna be so for real. I used to hate people so bad, so bad. I don't know why. I do know why, actually. That's a lie. I just don't want to speak it. I don't want to say it. But I used to hate people. It was like it was easier for me to hate people and not forgive them than to move on from whatever it is that happened.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I don't I'm not gonna say that it's the same way as you. It didn't come from a cycle. I think in a way it kind of started with me. There's a way I
It
see
started
it.
with you. Wow.
I think it started with me, and it had to do with the things that I had to deal as a kid and all that. But there was a point in my life where I was like, I need to stop. Like it has grown so much that I need to stop, and I didn't realize that until very later on, and that's why earlier you were like, "Oh, I've been so hateful for so long," and I was like, I felt that, and even though I'm young, but I've been hateful since a long time. Even as a little kid, I used to be really hateful.
And how do you feel now?
I feel fine, bro. Like I'm chilling. Like I really am chilling. And honestly, now my whole thing is like trying to be like Jesus. That's my type of thing. Cause like one of the things that I've always said that now, well, I say this now,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like when Jesus died, the blood of Jesus, the first person that touched that blood, the first person that blood was spilled on was a Roman, and it was a Roman that killed him.
Isn't that something?
Right?
Like, are you
That's
kidding
freaking
me?
amazing,
That
right?
that is amazing.
Yeah.
Like, oh
And
my
for
God,
me,
you're
that
killing
was
me,
like, yo,
and my blood is gonna cover you first.
yes, yeah, that's
Who,
crazy,
like,
right?
you
That
cannot
is
make that up. Like,
so. For me, he's been my example this whole time for forgiveness. Is Jesus? Like, he's the master of it, in my opinion.
if you
That's not
think
even my
about it,
opinion. That's
there's
Jesus.
nothing
That's
that
just it.
no one has done to us that can be worse than what we do to Jesus all the time.
Yeah, that's true. And that's actually one of the things that I have worked around with is that has actually helped me forgive others, knowing and thinking that way. And there was this one time, it was here, and someone he a prophet, he told me that the reason for my I have a heart condition. I don't, you know what? I don't think I have it anymore. I don't even know what it is at this point. Doctors don't even want to tell me. But the heart condition, he told me the only reason you have this heart condition, it is not because for to lack in a physical aspect, is because you lack in a spiritual aspect. Because you have not been able to forgive. And your hatred and not being able to forgive became so big that God had to let it manifest in
In
the
your heart.
natural and the physical, so you would realize
Wow.
how much harm it was doing to you, how much you were hurting.
It will make you sick.
Yeah,
Literally.
yeah.
Literally.
And I didn't know. I really didn't
Wow.
know. And it's funny because the heart condition, the whole thing of it is it's like you feel like if someone is like piercing like a blade through your like through your chest, through your heart, and it's like a certain like it's like pressing on, and then your chest, it feels tight, like you can't breathe. That's exactly how it feels. That is exactly how it feels to not being able to forgive, to keep on hatred is like an atmosphere where you cannot breathe, where there's so much pressure put against you and you cannot breathe. And that is literally how it feels.
And it's hard. It really is hard to let go. I cannot sit here and say, no, you have to forgive because it really is hard to the point of crying. Like you really resent so much because there are some things like, hello, if you say that my hair is ugly, I will forgive that really quickly. But there's things that we have gone through that, and everybody have gone through that you just feel it's impossible. There's no human way to possibly forgive those things. How you go about that? How do you tell someone, like seriously, like,
You wanna let me talk?
Why are you gonna talk?
Oh my
Oh
no,
my
because
God.
nah,
It's okay,
because
I forgive you.
I gotta talk. Oh yeah, you better forgive me. I gotta
Okay.
talk here because then I won't talk.
thank
Okay.
you, thank you for forgiving him.
so-
You see?
There's no, there was. You see, that's
No,
not-
but like
that's
literally,
for you,
like
'cause you don't need to forgive me.
like it's so hard.
Yes. So,
How do you do it?
honestly,
Mhm.
Jesus, you need
Mhm.
God because there's no way.
Yeah.
I hear people like tell me about like things they've gone through, and I'm like, dang, like that's really tough. Like actually, I don't know how to tell you to forgive that person because I couldn't even imagine like what you went through. So obviously you need Jesus. And I was reading something the other days in the morning in the Bible, and it was talking about how like if you're ever like praying or you're like whatever, and you remember that like you're angry with someone, like just go and like solve that. Like,
Oh
and
my
I was
God,
like,
yes.
oh my goodness, like I thought that was so like
Like
crazy but real.
that's
it's
the
like,
one
where
about
is that?
the offering, right?
It's somewhere in Matthew.
That's the one
It is
about
in
like if
Matthew?
you're gonna offer something,
Yeah.
wait.
Damn,
Uh-huh.
I feel bad.
Like, can you imagine?
I
Like,
always be saying Matthew's
you
my
can,
favorite one.
you cannot. Like, God is not gonna receive your offering.
Mm-hmm.
Like, are you? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So for me, that was crazy, but
That's
yeah,
tough.
God with God is the only person you can
He really.
outside of that.
Have
It's
you
hard.
experienced that? Like that you know you have to forget something and you had to cry to God because there's no way.
I don't think so. I think I haven't gone through anything less like
Thank God.
yeah.
Thank God. Well, at least you know where to get,
Yeah.
where to run. Yeah. Don't do anything to her. He's looking at her like, I'm going to do something. I'm going to bother you.
I'm not gonna do anything.
No, but truthfully, and I have experienced that. Like like you say, it's absolutely true. You have to. God is the only one that can truthfully give you through His Holy Spirit everything that you need, so you can truthfully forgive others and forgive yourself. Because walking in so much hatred can make you sick, like Joseph was saying.
Yeah, I was sick.
Do you remember the moment in which you realized, like, I really have to forgive?
Yeah, I remember. It was a youth night, and everybody heard me cry really loud that day.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
I was being ministered to. It was the first. I think it was the first time that I've cried so loud. It was so embarrassing.
Oh my God, I
Yeah.
missed that. I was here. I don't know.
I don't remember. All I know is that I was crying, like a lot. Okay, relax. But I was crying a lot.
It is so sad. I have heard young folks telling me, no, you don't need to forgive that person that you wrong. You need to. They need to feel the consequences of what they did wrong. And I was like,
That's not
but that illusion of justice only hurts you. The other
Mhm.
person is living their life. They can care less of what they did or didn't do.
just. That's what God says. That's mine. I take. For me to take.
For you to, it's so unbelievable because sometimes we feel we're making the other person, and there are instances, especially when you're talking about family members and they try to get close to you. They're really sorry for what they did and they're trying to make it right. They do feel bad because they know probably your reaction is a consequence of what they did or didn't do. But in reality, even that person, every day of their life, that is not hunting them. Maybe the moment in which you treat them bad, but then as soon as you leave, that's it. But the lack of forgiveness is gonna hunt you. It's gonna hunt me. Like the persons who's holding that grudge. And it's interesting what the Bible has to say about forgiveness. Do you guys remember what we were talking about?
Don't. I know it says a lot about forgiveness.
It is so hard that says forgive others, because the same way that you treat other, pretty much you will be treated. So if you're not forgiven, He's not gonna forgive you.
Oh yeah, I remember the parable. I remember the parable about it's not a servant.
It was this guy, right?
Yeah, but it was like to put it
He
in
owned a lot of
perspective.
money.
Yeah, that
He
one,
owned a lot of money,
He's like a king and whatnot.
and
He owns stuff.
and his dad was like, forgive. But then someone owed him less, way less, and
Way
he
less.
treated with such a cruelty.
Yeah, he beat him up
and
whatnot.
it was like, are you kidding me? I forgive you something way bigger than that, and you're gonna treat others like that? No. So even to that point, and what you were saying, I want to offer something to God. I want to be all that. Yeah, have you forgive someone? Because I'm not gonna receive this offering, not the way that you want me to receive that offering. Because you have to forget someone. You're carrying something that doesn't belong to you. So when you think about when it's amazing when every time you look into the Bible, you can even search. You don't even have to be a Christian. If you put in Google what the Bible say about forgiveness, it's gonna be a bunch of, because it's, if you think about Christ, what He did, it was an act of love to forgive the entire humanity. So if you're going to describe forgiveness in one word, that would be Jesus. That will be Jesus. He's the man. Like no one has done it like him. And when you think about it, it's like, oh my God, you truthfully left your kingdom, your position to come here to die. Not only in the cross, every time we do something, he died for us, for me. That's just unbelievable. That really is unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
When you think about forgiveness, like I really gonna hold grudges for so long. When you gave your life for me, I don't give my life for anyone. I'm sure God is not going to ask us to give our life for anyone. And if he does, are we willing to do it like that, like the way he did? That's unbelievable. And forgiveness, truthfully, when you think about it, it's a key to liberate us, to live that fulfilled life that God has for us. Do you remember how you feel after that day that you were mentioning in youth night? What things have changed?
Eden, I feel better.
You feel better?
I feel better. It feels like you're moving forward.
Can you see in others when they're where you were?
Really easy. I can spot it.
And how you feel when you see that?
It's sad, but it's a process. Most of the times when if you're close to me, if you're a friend of mine, I'm gonna tell you you're really stupid. Because I know the harm it does for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always straight. Like with my friends, I'll be straight like that, and I tell them, so forgive and move on, my guy, because you don't got time for that.
I had a conversation with this lady, and I think after that, I will stay quiet. But last week I was talking to her about forgiveness, because I know I have been close to her, for many years, and I have seen her journey, and it has been a hard journey, very hard, and she's getting close to God every day, so God can restore her life in every aspect. And one of the areas that wants to do is, restore her capacity to forgive herself and others. Mm-hmm. And as I was talking to her, she said, Joanna, she was just telling me this now, like 2 minutes ago. She was here. She was telling me, Joanna, this is so liberating. And you can see in her face, like she looks like she has this glow now that it's unbelievable. You can see it on her face. And I know this lady for years. And she's telling me this is so liberating. Because this week I have been going to people that have done me so wrong. And I have just and I'm listening, and I'm like, why I'm telling them this? But I'm just treating them with so much compassion and love and say, I forgive you. And I'm able to say something, spread a blessing over their life, even though they're doing something wrong in that exact moment. Like she was so excited about telling me about all that. And I'm like, I know exactly what you're talking about. But then she says something that hit me, and she said, but you know what? I know right now I need to forgive me because I have not loved myself. And I have to learn to love myself. And I was like, oh my God, like drop the mic. But truthfully, it does change your life. Every person that I have speak that have gone through lack of forgiveness and holding grudges and all of that, but when they truthfully let go, you see a transformed life, which is the reason why Christ died on the cross for us.